Okay, we continue with the chapter reading of the Countering Misconceptions About Training Camps in Afghanistan between 1990 and 2001. It's a Central Intelligence Agency report dated August 16, 2006. This chapter I'm going to read is entitled Aiding Our Understanding of Al Qaeda. As you can see here, I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can read along with me. The capture and debriefing of detainees has transformed our understanding of Al Qaeda and affiliate terrorist groups, providing increased avenues for sophisticated analysis. Prior to the capture of Abu Zubaydah in March of 2002, he was the first allegedly Al Qaeda operative to be captured. We had large gaps in knowledge of Al Qaeda's organizational structure, key members and associates, intentions and capabilities, possible targets for the next attack, and its presence around the globe. Now, unbeknownst to the CIA, I guess at this period was that just 10 years prior, I'm just what? No, I'm sorry, 6 years prior, the FBI and uh, Patrick Fitzgerald had interviewed an Al Qaeda defector, one of the original members, Jamal Al Fadl, who gave testimony to the Southern District of New York regarding the indictment against Osama bin Laden for the East Africa embassy bombings. Jamal al-Fadl was considered the most important defector in history regarding Islamic fundamentalist groups because up until then, the FBI had zero organizational structure experience when it came to Al-Qaeda. This information was shared with CIA. Jamal al-Fadl was quite thorough in his debriefings regarding the Al Qaeda hierarchy, the original founding members, like Wael Jaluluddin, Mahmoud Salim, Abu Haraj al Iraqi, Abu Ubaidah al Banshiri, Abu Hafs al Masri, also known as Muhammad Atef, Dr. Ayman al Zawahiri, Saeed Imam al Sharif, and Osama bin Laden. So, I mean, this, information by the CIA, this is not true. By the way, also in 2006, the CIA had to go to Abu Zubaydah's Guantanamo court hearing and provide information that Abu Zubaydah was not Al Qaeda. He was not a fighter. They had him as the number 3 man in Al Qaeda, and he was not. He was a trainer at the Kandahar training camp, which was not Al Qaeda based. When Abu Zubaydah was captured, Ali Soufan of the FBI from New York had a good relationship with Zubaydah. One of the CIA officers that involved with the capture of Zubaydah was John Kiriakou. And they didn't torture Zubaydah. And it was only until the CIA George Tenet, Director Tenet, went to Bush and said that we need Abu Zubaydah. And then they began torturing him. Now, you can read all about this in my chapter readings of the committee study of the Central Intelligence Agency's detention, rendition, and torture program. Within months of his arrest, Abu Zubaydah provided details about Al Qaeda's organizational structure, key operatives, and modus operandi. It was also Abu Zubaydah, early in his detention, who identified Khalid Sheikh Mohammed as the mastermind 9/11. How that went through was Abu Zubaydah was in the hospital, and Ali Soufan showed him some pictures. And, Zubaydah was like, no. He goes, why you show me Muqtar? And he says, we already know about him. And he identified him as the mastermind 9/11. But Ali Soufan had no idea. He lied to Zubaydah. and tricked them. In the years since 9/11, successive detainees have helped us gauge our progress in the fight against Al Qaeda by providing updated information on the changing structure and health of the organization. Hassan Ghul. After his early 2004 capture, Hassan Ghul provided considerable intelligence on Al Qaeda senior operatives in Waziristan and elsewhere in the tribal regions of Pakistan. When Al Qaeda broke up after the attacks of 9/11, Bin Laden and a group went to Waziristan, Bin Laden went to Pakistan, and a group went to Iran. We have fragmentary information, you can see is redacted, identifying the Shikal Valley as a safe haven for Al Qaeda and associated Mujahideen before Ghul's capture. However, Ghul's reporting brought instant credibility to all this disparate reporting and added minute details to what had been previously been a murky Nisian picture, and that's not true either. Look, the CIA had a lot of detailed information about Al Qaeda all throughout the years, and that came from the Bin Laden issue station. And not only that, the FBI debriefings of Jamal al-Fadl. I mean, you had one of the alleged facilitators of the East Africa bombings, an Egyptian who walked into a CIA office and wanted to provide details about the upcoming attacks on embassies, and he was deported. Over the years, the CIA amassed an amount of data on Al Qaeda and Bin Laden. Hassan Ghul helped us assess that this valley, as of December of 2003, I'm going to make myself disappear so you can read it, was not just one haven for Al Qaeda in Waziristan, but the home base for Al Qaeda in the area, and one that Al Qaeda was reluctant to abandon. Hassan Ghul, a key Al Qaeda facilitator, pointed out the location in the Shikal Valley in Waziristan, Pakistan, of safe houses and specific Al Qaeda senior leaders, and you can see the rest is redacted. Although we had a body of reporting from clandestine other sources indicating that senior Al Qaeda targets were congregating in the Shikal Valley in 2004, Ghul's confirmation and official narrative helped counterterrorism officers, and that's redacted too. Ghul also provided our first knowledge of Pakistani operatives trained, blank, and you can see it's redacted. Ghul then supplied detailed insight into the nature of their training. The Al Qaeda operatives involved in their grooming and the location of facilities in the Shikal Valley where the operatives trained. You know, you have to wonder, the information by Hassan Ghul, you know, came from torture, and how much of this is fictitious, and you know what else is real, what is verified. Ghul was he's a Pakistani national. Underwent a lot of the CIA's torture methods. And a lot of people came to his defense saying that he's not anyone important. He was transferred to a CIA black site in Romania in 2004. And between August 21st and August 30th, he was rendered to another country, which is in the CIA's, in the committee's findings of the CIA's rendition of torture program. He was actually released from foreign custody in 2007 and had been killed in a U.S. airstrike, a drone strike in 2012. Sharif al-Masri. Sharif al-Masri also provided invaluable insights in over 150 disseminated reports that have aided our analysis of al-Qaeda's current organization, the personalities of its key members, and al-Qaeda's decision-making process. All this, most of it was known through earlier intelligence. Again, this was the committee's criticisms of the CIA's report that a lot of this information was already previously known. Not everything, but most of it. Various operatives discussed capabilities, including the CBRN. Detailed Al Qaeda technical experts, some of whom had very focused roles in the organization, have provided unique insight into the origins of the group's efforts to develop weapons and the technical limitations of a key Al Qaeda personnel. In particular, detainees have helped to clarify Al Qaeda's CBRN program. That is the um, chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear program. I mean, it's no secret that bin Laden tried to ascertain biological weapons, but couldn't. You heard about the story of Muhammad Atta trying to rent a crop duster plane, uh, tried to tie the anthrax to Al Qaeda, but they couldn't. There's an incident where I think it's Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi were burned by anthrax. And it was noted by a security guard at an airport, I think. And he had to go to the hospital. Don't quote me on the hijacker. It was one of the hijackers that got burned, and it was in Florida. I don't remember. But they never did possess any chemical, biological weapons, even though later on, after 9/11, the State Department, under the Office of Special Plans, headed by Douglas Feith and Paul Wolfowitz, uh, hastily said that Al Qaeda, along with the Iraqi Ba'athist Army under Saddam Hussein, were procuring chemical, biological weapons. And that led to the torture of Ibn Sheikh al-Libi, who was captured in Egypt and under the CIA supervision, because they didn't have the torture program underway yet, the Egyptians tortured him to basically say what they wanted to hear. And then they went to war with Iraq. But then they found out that Sheikh Ibn al-Libi had lied. And even had the nerve to say, "Why did you lie?" And now Libby said, I would have told you anything to stop the torture. All right. Hey, listen, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. And, see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, everybody.